Hey, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Cory Means Business podcast and YouTube channel. Today, I got a special guest with me. I have Cynthia Arias, and she is the owner of the Cookie Jar, which is a custom cookie company. And I have not tasted the cookies yet, but they look amazing. So hopefully maybe we can, a little bit later here in the show, we can bring out some cookies and actually get a good look at them and even get a little taste and see how they are. Right? See if they actually taste as good as they look. So she's going to be a great guest because she, has been in business a while, but, and she's got a great product, but she is, has bigger goals and bigger ambitions. So we'll talk a little bit about that and get going. So Cynthia, tell us a little bit about yourself. Where are you from originally and what motivated you to actually get into business?
Well, hi, Cory. First of all, thank you so much for having me here.
Of course.
It is an honor. Well, I was born and raised in Tijuana, Mexico.
Okay.
Border to San Diego, California. And, I was raised in a, nice neighborhood where I attended to a bilingual school, so that's what helps me,
Okay, so you learned English early on then.
Exactly, yeah.
Good.
Also, the Count, Elmo, Cookie Monster were great teachers.
So that's where the motivation came from, was the Cookie Monster?
Exactly.
There you go.
Oh, now it makes sense.
It does make sense, yeah.
Yeah, so I was born and raised in Tijuana, and, I'm a Montessori teacher. I'm not a baker.
Okay, wow.
Yeah, so all my life I've been very creative. I've loved to work with art. I love music. I like photography. So if I sum up all that together, it sums up to the cookie jar. How? It was funny how it came down to cookies, right? But somehow I was able to incorporate all my passions in life with baking the cookies. Like I remember, very young, wanted to be a painter, right. And now my canvas is a cookie. So that's very interesting. I found out how to decorate cookies when I had my firstborn child. Well, my one and only. Okay. So most of our cookiers, we begin creating desserts for our children.
Right, little home baking.
Exactly.
Kind of gets it going at first.
Yeah, like their first birthday. And I remember when I was young, my mom always used to make some goodies for my friends when it was a holiday, like Christmas, Valentine's, Easter. I would bring my friends a little treat or a sticker, a card with something really nice. So right. That's something I knew I had to do for my son.
Okay. So basically then you're saying that, we have another situation. Again, this is actually pretty typical when you talk about people that are creative and get into business. They want to take, something, a hobby or some pastime activity they like, and they get good at it. And then they say, okay, well, could I make a business out of this? So you're making cookies for your your daughter, your son?
My son.
Your son, okay. Yeah. You're making cookies for your son, and you're really enjoying it. And at some point, you obviously started getting the creativity that you had, started coming out, and you were like, well, let me make this a little fancier than just throwing some dough in the oven. And then at what point does it hit you that you could really make this a business?
Well, it all began because I started sending all those cookies to my son's kindergarten. And, all his friends got home with a cookie. And Mom started asking, who makes these cookies?
Right.
Who's making these cookies?
Okay.
And I was like, I'm doing those cookies. And they started contacting me like, hey, can you do cookies for my husband's birthday? Or can you do cookies for my son, for my daughter? And I'm like, yeah, sure. So at the beginning, it was a hobby. Okay. I would never imagine that I would do it a business. It never crossed my mind. So I started doing it like a hobby, for my friends and family.
Right, sure.
And I used to bring to birthday parties, family parties, events, and then it hit me. Like you mentioned, it was, let me remember, Halloween. And suddenly all the little neighbors, I'm like, I have here potential customers.
They're all hitting you up for cookies. They're all saying, hey, what are you doing? You making any cookies for Halloween? You're going to make some pumpkin cookies, right? So, yeah, then you're just like, well, geez, man, I mean, these people are asking me for a lot of these cookies, and maybe this, I should be charging, right? It kind of hits you like, I should be charging for these. This can't be for free. This is too much work and too much time, and, I can't just be giving this away, right?
Exactly.
And how long ago was that?
That was in 2010.
Okay, so about almost 11 years now.
Almost 11 years ago.
Okay.
Yeah. So first it was a hobby, and then that hobby I opened my Facebook page. So I was like, I have to do, since I was a kid, I knew I like having my own business. So I took a break from school, from teaching, because I had my son. He was 1 year old. So I had to do something to distract myself because I was going nuts with the baby at home. And I love working. I love to work. So I thought I have to do something productive. And suddenly I became obsessed with the cookie decorating that I logged into every single video on YouTube and, YouTube University. So
right. Yeah. Hey, that's a great university. I got to tell you. It really is. Pay attention to that because it is a great university. You guys are taking class right now. So
exactly.
Anything you want to do, anything you want to learn, anything you want to know, somebody's put it out there on a video and you can watch it and get demonstrations. Yeah, it's pretty powerful. So, all right, so then you got some more inspiration from that and that kind of just said, okay, there's a lot of potential here for the creativity, the creative side to come out in you. Right?
Exactly. So I started following all these cookiers. And I started searching their website, but on that time it was more like Facebook, because Pinterest I think there was no Instagram, no TikTok, no nothing. So we were very limited. So I started searching and I said, wow, I want to be like them. You always have to look for someone better than you, and try to replicate, not replicate, copy them, right? Just be your best version and try to. Yeah,
well, again, that's actually smart, and that's another teaching point right there that you guys should pay attention to, especially you young entrepreneurs and future entrepreneurs. Pay attention to that. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. You don't have to say, I've got to come up with some new product, right? There's only going to be so many people that invent an iPhone, and then it's not going to be, it's once in the generation, right? It's not going to be for the rest of us. The rest of us got to take some other idea that somebody already has, and we just got to make it our own and make it special and, add something different to it. So again, don't feel to get into business that you have to reinvent the wheel or you have to invent anything or come up with a product or come up with a service. You don't. What you have to do is you have to find something that you're capable of doing and something you've got some natural talent for, some interest in, like you had natural artistic talent, you had an interest in baking cookies. Mm-hmm. And so you take that natural, interest and natural ability, and then you say, well, geez, let me go see what the pros are doing and what the best people are doing with something like this. And then, then you can steal ideas, and you can steal concepts, and you can, get extra, see greater examples of what the possibilities are. And that's really when you're looking at perfecting your product, perfecting your service, that's exactly how you should do it. You take a small talent or a small interest you have, and then you go look for the best in the world that do it, and then you start getting ideas and stealing from them. And stealing is the wrong word, really. It's called hacking, right? You call it hacking. But you grab their ideas and you can take some stuff that's not proprietary. You don't just flat copy somebody.
Exactly.
You just get inspiration from it. Right?
Exactly. I would say inspiration. Yeah. And you know what differentiates you from the competition is the added value. I've always since. If you begin with the packaging of the cookies, how are they presented to your client? That was one of the most important things to me. How is my cookie? How am I going to present my cookies to the customer?
Presentation's huge.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So in Mexico, we say, de la vista nace el amor.
Okay.
I don't know if you understood that.
No.
Okay. From the outside, love is born, something like that.
Oh, from the eyes, love is born. Okay,
yeah.
That's a good saying.
Yeah. So I've always wanted to do that. that wow moment when people saw their cookies, like, wow, these are great, and they're really good too. I actually brought you some cookies.
Awesome. Well, let's bust these out and let's check them out. I know that the audience is definitely interested in these.
I want to see your wow moment.
Yeah, we're going to see exactly what we're working with here.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Wow, those are amazing. Look at that. I get nice close up. Look at that. That is really cool. Those are definitely cool. So when you talk about the packaging and the presentation, obviously you got this beautiful box. You got your logo here. You've got a little extra decoration with the ties. Yes. Clear window so you can see the cookies and they're individually wrapped in there. Yes. Yeah, this is a beautiful presentation. And again, if you're gonna, we haven't gotten to your price point yet, but if you're gonna look to charge top dollar for your work, well then again, presentation is gonna matter for sure. Exactly. You just can't whip this into like a little, paper bag, and 5 cookies and say, here's your, $5 cookies, right? People are going to say, get out of here. So this shows you the quality of the presentation. And again, you look at something like this, you look at it online, on Facebook, you're like, wow, these are special cookies, right? These aren't just cookies that you eat a dozen while you're watching TV at night. This is like for special occasions and things like that. So very cool. Well, before I open this box up and actually do the taste test, make sure everybody can see that really, really well. Awesome. Okay, cool. All right, now comes the big one. Now comes the taste.
Drums.
Yeah, I'm in love with them, but am I gonna want to marry them? That's gonna have to depend on how they taste, right?
Let's see what you say. So right. Yeah, definitely. So when
which one should I go for? The cactus or the state of Arizona?
I say go for the cactus because the state of Arizona, it's designed that it's airbrush. I'm not saying that airbrushing tastes bad. It doesn't. But, it doesn't have that much gel into it. Okay. Food coloring. That's something also that I take very good care of.
So then depending upon like the design and colors and stuff like that, it will have different flavors.
It does, yes, because it is food grade. You can eat it. You won't get intoxicated.
That's a good thing.
Yeah, but I really take good care into preparing the royal icing. That's what is decorated with. Right. It's called royal icing. So I dye the icing a day before because sometimes the color intensifies. So if you try to prepare it the same day, like if I would prepare it right now, I would add more food gel, and that sometimes bitters the
detail.
Icing.
Yeah. So you can obviously it is. Takes a lot of time. It's just not, again, something you baked in a half hour and just threw it together. So yeah. So again, when you're talking about like things that are super high quality, one of your things your customers have to kind of keep in mind, and the audience has to keep in mind, again, the prep time, you have to be aware of it, especially your price point. She could very easily not make any money doing this if she were to not recognize how much time things take and not be prepared, not have things like, prepared in advance or, efficiencies in her process would really cost her a lot of money. So this is beautiful. And again, I almost hate to even eat it because it's just like, wow, it's just it's art, right?
It is royal icing. It's I'm
going to try it though. I still got to try the taste test.
11 years, no one has broken a tooth, so don't worry. You won't break it.
Wow. Yeah.
I can hear the crunch. That's really nice.
All right. You guys hearing that? They're not soft bake.
Yeah. So
I love crunchy cookies. That's a great texture.
That's good to know.
Yeah, the texture and the crunchy cookies. I like soft cookies too, but the ones in the middle are kind of the ones that are a problem. I want them either extra crunchy or extra soft. Can't be like kind of crunchy but soft at the same time, right? It's like that's not a good texture.
Yeah, and here what helps is that it's a dance with the cookie and the icing, because the icing it's not buttercream that it's soft. It is royal icing, so it hardens when it dries, and so the base needs to be a little soft, not too soft to the point that it will break the cookie, because I've seen cookies that you touch them and they're already breaking because the icing is too hard. So it is physics. It takes a lot of chemistry and physics and everything into making cookies. It's really funny.
The detail and as well as like the precision of it is amazing. So, especially when you consider it's all handmade, you're making it by hand, right? So yeah, it's definitely impressive for sure.
And now that you mentioned that, something that we all decorator cookies have, I wouldn't call it a problem. It's just, educating your clients. People think that you put all the ingredients in the oven and they will come up pop out of a sudden just already decorated. No, like you mentioned before, it's a very detailed process behind that cookie. Like that cookie, it's like a 5-step to decorate it, and each step requires a certain time, and they need to dry, and it's airbrushed, and it has a lot of work into it. That little cactus.
Yeah, like I said, the detail is absolutely stunning. And I speaking of showing it off, I know you have a quality social media presence, which I was pretty impressed with. So your Facebook's really nice, and your Instagram's really nice. And you can really see the details and the high quality pictures and all that stuff. So the quality of your social media was impressive. So from that aspect of it, I think your presentation of it is spot on. You probably would want to get more of your personality involved with that stuff, though. Especially your personality with your social media. And I always tell business owners that, like, look, you're not Home Depot, you're not a household name. So when it comes to social media, and I've made this reference before, and a lot of people know that. I'll get more views and more likes on my post than Home Depot does on their page. Their page has, 2 million subscribers or something like that, or 2 million followers on their Instagram. I have like 500,000, but I'll get more likes, more interaction, more interaction than Home Depot will. So, because nobody goes on social media to look at, not that your pictures of your cookies aren't beautiful, but people go to social media for personalities. They want to see people. Yes. They want to see interactions. They want to see stuff. So I would love, for your social media, for you to show some videos of you making the cookies.
Actually
prepping the cookies and all that stuff. That'd be awesome.
We have the tutorial highlight on Instagram, and if you go to Facebook, there is the videos tab. And I've seen a lot of my followers. They follow me because I teach. I do some free tutorials. I do teach back home. I used to teach. I actually went and to teach to Santiago de Chile. I was requested to go and teach down there. So a lot of people follow me because they are my students, and 2, people wanted to take a cookie class with me, but didn't have the time, or now that I'm here in the States, they're like, oh, I should have gone to your cookie class. And
so all right, so you like teaching making cookies as well? Yeah.
So if you follow me on Instagram, you will see on my stories that I do all the behind the scenes on decorating cookies, doing the cookie dough, like a lot of tricks that and also shortcuts that I didn't do, that I had to learn in 10 years.
Right.
It's been a shortcut for all my
students.
I'm
sure, you try to make a cookie that quality 10 years ago, it probably would take you 5 times as long as it takes now, because you didn't know all the shortcuts and the strategies.
Or didn't have the equipment too either.
The know-how of how to get your processing times down better, and how to get your ingredients, more readily available, and all kinds of things like that. So that's part of obviously the growth of being a craftsman, really, and working on that level of your core skill set for your business. So yeah, it definitely is impressive to pay attention to that. Are you on YouTube as well?
I am on YouTube.
Okay.
It's actually the cookie jar tip of the day.
Oh, nice.
But I don't give cookie tips every day, to be honest. And, I am everything behind the cookie jar. I am do the marketing. I do my numbers. I do
You're a solopreneur.
Yeah, I'm solopreneur, exactly. And shame on me. I know I have to eventually give up all give some responsibility and hire people.
Right.
That's one of my bigger goals.
Okay. All right.
But yeah, if I really want to have more time to make more videos, tutorials, and actually, speaking of goals, I'm a little bit ahead here. One of the goals is to make my my online class, so that will help me put it there on YouTube and start working and learning all the process of the videos and editing and all that stuff that goes behind the YouTube.
Well, I can tell you, the potential that you have here on a business scale is tremendous. There's no question about it. I mean, this could be, a very, very lucrative company. You could do very, very well. Your distribution could be obviously nationwide very easily because this this can ship easily. It's light. Shipping costs would be low. You don't need to worry about cooling or keeping it frozen or anything like that. So this would be a perfect item to ship around the country as a specialty item. So the potential of your ultimate customer base is nationwide. So you have a business that has nationwide potential, right?
Exactly.
So where are you currently selling right now?
Currently, I'm a home baker under the Cottage Food Law Program.
Okay.
And I'm selling at St. Philip's Plaza Market.
Okay.
I do holidays. I'm not there every weekend, but every other holiday. Actually, the past weekend was my second one.
Okay.
And it was really nice because it's an artisan-focused market. So you have a lot of people like making jewelries and breads. So that's where
you can sell a few cookies there.
Exactly.
Are you doing this full time yet, or is this you still teaching and then this is just part time still, or is this a full time thing?
No, it is a full time. I do the markets and I do pop ups in Sahuarita.
Okay.
I do the pop ups. It's a cold porch pop up. It's you invite your neighbors to the last minute buyer, people that need a little detail last minute. I'm there, and I also have my website. It's sharetheartofcookies.com.
Yep.
I do ship. I am allowed to ship within the Arizona state.
Okay.
So I do shippings too. I've shipped before, and when I was in Mexico, I've shipped. We would say not worldwide but I did ship to Hawaii, Holland, in Mexico. Here, the States, so it's pretty shippable, like you mentioned.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so website, the market, and the pop-ups in Sahuarita.
Yeah, I think that really your best distribution channel is really going to be shipping. Yeah. Going out to those markets and sitting there and waiting and hoping and then talking to all these people. I know it's fun and it's kind of cool. You definitely could do it once in a while, but to be your main distribution channel, obviously it's going to really slow your growth.
Exactly. And right now I'm doing a market to put my brand out there. People get to know me.
Right.
And when I began the cookie jar, I did only holidays. And then I started making custom orders. But now I want to go back to that business model of distribution on website.
Right.
Because custom orders take a lot of time and you're limited. You can't make holidays because it's a lot of work, and I have to do minimum 24 cookies. Some people are not willing to order 24 cookies.
Right.
They want 4, 6, 12, and I don't.
Yeah,
get pretty booked.
Yeah. As far as just doing a custom cookie, you'd have to raise your prices up quite a bit to make it worth it because, like you say, you don't know what color they're going to want, what shape, what style, and now you got to retool. I think your better business model would be to, we have these 12 cookies, maybe if you want something written different, we can do that. We can customize versus custom, right?
Exactly.
So the difference between customizing is that I can take this table that I make already and I can, if you want it white, I can paint it white for you, but I'm not going to make you like a table that's the shape that you want. So customizable versus customize is different. So I think it's a customizable thing where you could, again, put different writing, all right, maybe different colors.
Exactly.
But the shapes and, some of the basic stuff would have to be something you could replicate on an ongoing basis. So I think that really would be your best distribution channel is orders online, shipping,
Yes.
and then eventually, obviously, get a kitchen or a professional kitchen, or you can rent kitchens to where you could then bring out some more people to help you bake and help you prep and all that stuff.
Definitely.
But like I said, your potential is unlimited. It just comes down to marketing, right? So you've got again your marketing, the YouTube channel. I would use it just for teaching how to do cookies, really showcasing, because the only thing that plays on YouTube is videos, obviously.
Exactly.
And how-to videos are like the ones, right? So how-tos.
Yeah.
So that would really get you a great traction in YouTube, and also create your tribe, if you will, right? So you've got your tribe of cookies, because your target audience, if you go nationwide, yes, there are potentially millions of people that will buy your cookies, but these aren't for everyone. These aren't going to be for everybody.
Exactly.
Everybody's not going to buy a $5 or $8 cookie. So it's not like everyone's your customer, but there are plenty of customers out there, especially nationwide. So
Yes.
creating that tribe with these people and getting your the engagement with the YouTube channel, that would then lead to online purchases.
Exactly.
And then as far as your Instagram goes, again, pictures of the cookies are great, close-ups, maybe a few videos of how they're being made and showing how they're made. Something about the ingredients and why that's special. And then same thing with Facebook. Now, advertising, as far as driving orders, Facebook is going to be the way to go. Instagram is pretty, but it's a lot more expensive to advertise there than it is on Facebook. Facebook would be the way to advertise. Cheaper. Yeah. It's way cheaper. And your customer is going to be on Facebook more. They're going to be on Instagram. Because your perfect customer is probably, 40s to, if I were to say who your best customer is going to be, I'm going to say it's going to be a 42-year-old woman, mother of two, married, right? Likes to have dinner parties. Am I nailing it, right? See,
Yeah.
and that's going to be, they're going to be on Facebook, all of them.
Yeah.
Not that many on Instagram. So
No, Instagram
not
is
saying
more
don't
like
pay
young
attention
people.
don't pay attention to Instagram, but a bunch of 22-year-olds, aren't going to be buying $8 cookies, right? So that's part of understanding who your audience is, and who your customer base is, and knowing where they are, right? Because you have to go to your customer. You can't wait for your customers to come to you. You have to go to them. So the first question when you start a marketing campaign is you say, I've really got to drill down who's my best customer, right?
Yeah.
And so then you say, okay, who's my best customer? When I sell the most cookies, who do I sell them to? And who do I sell the most cookies the most often to? And that becomes your customer profile. And like I say, I can, get a pretty good feel for who's going to be in the market for this.
Yes.
But you'll know exactly what are their other hobbies? What else are they interested in? What else do they do? Do they like wine? Do they drink wine? Right? You say these go great with coffee, right? So because it's something that could be piggybacked on people who love coffee, right?
Yes.
So then you start thinking about that, and then as you develop your marketing plan, you can then get a really good picture for who your audience is and who your perfect customer is. And then you begin your marketing campaign. So many people will just do a marketing campaign just saying, well, I have this great service or this great product. Let me show it to the world, and then the world will come. No, it doesn't work like that. And it's very expensive to do that. And if you were going to say, well, let me show this cookie to everybody on Instagram, 99% of the people, they would look at this and go, why is this in my way, right? So you got to identify who your perfect customer is,
Yes.
where they're at, okay? So you create that avatar. So you create an avatar. You say, okay, my perfect customer, it's a she, because guys like cookies. They like to eat cookies. They're just not into making them and baking them and all that kind of stuff. Not trying to be sexist or chauvinistic here, but it is what it is. Women are and men are different. Okay,
No, I'm just
they
kidding.
are.
We are.
I know that this is a politically heightened topic. Let me just put that to rest from a common sense perspective. Men and women are completely different. Now they're equal. Okay, one's not better than the other one, right? Just like this cookie. Okay, this cookie is completely different from this cookie. That one's not better than this one. They're just different. Okay, different's fine. Different's good.
I know.
Right? We need different. We don't want to be all the same. We want people to be different, right? So I love that women have their interests, and I love that men have their interests, and that's nothing wrong with that, right? And so from that aspect of it, your perfect customer. Again, I'm going to say 40s, kids, married. Into wine, coffee, makes good money because these aren't cheap cookies. We're not going to sell cheap cookies. So I'd say household income over $100,000, right? And that's very important.
Yes, it is.
To know who your customer is. Again, because there's a select few people, they're going to be willing to buy an $8 cookie.
Yeah.
Right? So, and there's nothing wrong with that because they got extra money to spend on some cool stuff like this. You know, have the neighbors over, have my friends over, and I'm going to bust out these $8 cookies and wow people, right?
But think this. I think this way: if you go to Walmart and you buy a detail for a teacher, like I'm doing teacher appreciation,
right?
And if you go to Walmart and you get like the cup, you get some candies in there, and then you get the packaging, it'll sum up to $15. You know, and my cookies, maybe a box like that would be 12, and it's something that it's custom made. You are supporting local.
The quality is going to set it apart, right? The presentation, the quality of everything, the quality of the cookie, the quality of the presentation, the quality of the packaging. I mean, you have a ton of quality here. I think $12 for this set of cookies is more than fair. And again, you just have to know who's going to want that, though.
Exactly.
Okay. And again, so we're developing, the reason why we're developing an avatar, maybe I need to give you a little more of the why, okay? Yeah. Because when you advertise on Facebook, when you're going to say, I'm going to run an ad for luxury cookies, right? Okay. Luxury cookies. The word luxury really sells. It's a great marketing tip, by the way. Right? So luxury cookies. Yep. Luxury cookies. Before you run an ad on Facebook to get these luxury cookies in front of the people, then you need to know what your custom audience is, because when you go to run an ad, it's going to ask you, who do you want to see this ad? Now, again, if you just blast it out to everybody, 90% of the people, 95% of the people, they're not going to care. Yeah. Okay. The great thing about Facebook advertising, and I hate to make Zuck more money, but the great thing about advertising is that advertising on Facebook is that you get to drill down to your perfect customer. So you literally can customize your audience to just the only ones that'll see your ad are going to be women from 35 to 50, household income of over 100,000, into coffee, into wine. Yeah. And then you can even pick demographic areas. You could say just in, within a 10-mile radius of this zip code. Yes. You can say in the state of Arizona. You could say, and the
interest tax, hashtags, tax they're called, right? The interest tax, that helps a lot too.
In organic posting, it has nothing to do with when you do advertising, right? So when you run ads, it doesn't matter, right? So
because it does ask for ad tax, doesn't it?
No. Not on ads, right? So you don't want to do hashtags on ads.
No, not the tag, not the hashtag. There's like an interest tag.
Interest selection, yes, exactly. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about, right? So you're selecting the interests, right? And this would be the people that you're interested in, or they're going to be interested in this kind of a cookie, right? So I'm drilling it down to where, let's just say, for instance, in the state of Arizona, there would be we're up to almost 8 million people here now. I think 7 million, 8 million, right? So it's kind of getting kind of big. Everyone's coming from California, Tijuana. But it's getting good size. So, but 8 million people that live in Arizona, right? 8 million people aren't interested in this, but there's probably 50,000 people that would love this. Yes. There's no point for you to spend money on Facebook to show ads to the other 7.950 million, right? Yeah. There's no point to show them this because they wouldn't want it. So then you can then say, well, my audience, once it's drilled down, is only 50,000 people. Yeah. Well, now to show these cookies to 50,000 people, your perfect customer, 50,000 people, several times would cost hardly no money. I mean, we're talking like for $200 a month, you could literally be in front of all of those people for $200 a month.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's really cheap advertising, $200 a month, and everybody that would be interested in Arizona in this cookie gets to see it and interact with it. Again, there's no way you could ever do that through TV, radio, magazines, nothing, right? So that's why I love Facebook advertising so much, is because that's a very unique scenario. And so you drill down your custom audience, you spend $200 a month. I wouldn't recommend any more than that. $200 a month is always my starting budget for people that are just getting ready to advertise on Facebook. Now, when you start running these ads on Facebook, you're going to get people liking the post, leaving comments with the post, right? Now you're going to put a link that says, it goes to your website, right? Yeah. So then the ad would be a picture of the cookies, luxury cookies, or custom, handmade luxury cookies, have them for your next party. And then you'd have a link to your website.
Correct.
You'd get the traffic to the website, but you'd also get likes. You'd also get comments. You'd also get people liking your page, following your Instagram. Now, from the advertisement portal, from the ads manager, they call it on Facebook, you can say, do we want this to run on Instagram as well? And then it'll run on Instagram as well. And you can run a little bit on Instagram. I don't recommend a ton, but a little bit.
I do run it through Instagram.
Okay. Facebook, Facebook's better. You're going to get way more bang for your buck. Way more bang for your buck. Because ultimately it's just about traffic, right? It's traffic to the website. Mm-hmm. You want traffic to the website. So the cheapest, best traffic you can get to the website is what you want. Organically, you've been doing organically. Again, organic's great, but it's a lot of work. It takes a lot of time.
It does.
Okay. So you want to try to automate. So when you talk about, you were telling me like you understand that you can't be a solopreneur forever. Now with your goals, right? You want to make something of this company. Yes. So you can't be a solopreneur forever. So you have to start offloading some of these functions. Well, how easy is it to have a $200 employee that is doing most of the heavy lifting when it comes to driving traffic to your website, so you don't have to do it? Exactly. See, that's a good trade-off. The $200 is a great trade-off for that assistant, if you will, that's going to do all the work to get people to your website.
Yeah.
And for $200, you're going to be able to get 5,000 people to your website. Whereas if you tried to do that with organic traffic and hashtagging and posting 5 times a week and taking extra good pictures and all this stuff, you're talking you might get a few hundred people to go. Yes, and that was a lot more work, right? Yeah. So start off with a $200 budget. Advertise on Facebook so you get more traffic. And then when you get likes and you get comments, what you can do is you can go and you can invite the people that liked your post to like your Facebook page. There's a little thing where you can go back and you can say, invite to my page, invite to my page, invite to my page. I think it lets you invite like 50 people a day. You can invite. So let's just say you ran a post, or you boosted a post on your Facebook page. Mm-hmm. You say you spent $30 boosting this post, right, to this custom audience. Yeah. And then you got 300 likes on it. Well, you could go and you could then manually invite all 300 of those people to your Facebook page and then grow your Facebook page as far as grow your following on your Facebook page. Mm-hmm. Any comments, obviously, you could answer the question. People comment, you have any questions, feel free to comment your question and then answer the questions in the comments. That will get more interaction. Facebook will see people are interacting with it, which then they'll serve you up cheaper ads. The more people interact with your ad or your boosted post, the cheaper they serve up impressions. If people aren't interacting, aren't liking it, aren't putting comments, they're going to start charging you more money to do it. Get you the impressions, right? So there's a little bit of art, science, tricks, some more shortcuts to that you'd use. But then that's going to drive tons of traffic to your website, and then again, your website already looks great. You got a great website. There's order forms on there, contact forms, all that stuff, and the orders can come in. And again, one of the things that you'd want to put on your social media: ship anywhere in Arizona. We can ship anywhere in Arizona. Ship anywhere in Arizona. Right. And since you're only licensed right now to do that, then just stick with that until you really get your sales up. And there's plenty of people in Arizona to really get you cranking. You could probably, add a couple of people and, really get cranking just with Arizona, and then eventually expand out, maybe do Southwest, and then you can keep going. And, like I said, the sky's the limit with what you got here. There's no doubt about it. How many cookies a month do you sell now?
Oh my God. I would say I did 800 for the past event, and I'm making it runs about like 2,000 cookies a month.
2,000 cookies a month?
Yeah.
Okay.
And it depends also on the holiday. Are there holidays that they go up to 3,000? Some holidays go down to 1,000, 800, 500 cookies. So it depends on how much of work I put into it also,
Sure.
Yeah, but yeah, average, I would say like 1,500 cookies a month.
1,500 cookies a month. And then the average cookie is like what, $4, $5?
Yeah, $4.
$4.
I'd say that's like, $4.
Okay.
An average.
So then
regular.
gross sales is about $6,000 a month. And what's your costs on that? What does that cost you to do?
Each cookie, well, it depends. It depends on how detailed it is decorated.
So you sell $6,000 worth of cookies.
Yeah.
How much do you get to keep?
I know. Every cookie, like I mentioned, it depends. Some cookies will be $1. Other cookies would be 20 cents.
Okay.
So you make the math.
Yeah, you got to know your costs, right? So
Yeah.
you got to drill this down so you know your costs.
Exactly.
So you know if I sell $6,000 worth of cookies.
Yeah.
I'm-
Deduct 500.
I need to make at least 30%, right?
Yeah.
So 6,000 times 30%, so you'd make $1,800 out of it would be the profit. And again, I'm not looking at your costs. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm just going to kind of thumb it at this point and just say, okay, you can make $1,800 for selling the cookies. So we're talking about we're going to talk about going to scale, right? So you want to go to scale. Now, how much money do you want to make selling cookies? Like, what's your goal as far as like how much money you want to make?
In terms of money, how much money I want to make, I don't have a number. What I want to make is I don't want to call it a job because it's not a job.
Okay, let's do this. Let's do this. Now, again, she's. I hope you guys are paying attention to what's happening here, right?
Yeah.
So she's getting hung up. She thinks that money is wrong. She thinks that making money is like evil.
Not at all.
No, okay, good.
No, not at all. I mean, I can say I can give you a 3-digit number, a 6-digit number, but
you have to be the one. So business owners,
Yeah.
potential business owners, look, you have to be the one to decide what you want your time to be worth.
Exactly.
Your time's going to be worth $10 an hour, $100 an hour, $1,000 an hour. You're going to make that decision, but here's what you got to do. You have to make the decision of what you want your time to be worth. If you want your time to be worth $1,000 an hour, okay, and you want to work, let's say 8 hours a day, that's $8,000 per day, okay? And if you want to work 20 days a month and make $8,000 a day times 20, that'd be $160,000 a month you would make. And we'll times that by 12 just for the year, $2 million. Okay, so then you're going to make $2 million.
Yeah. Well, what I wanted to get to the point is I know money is important and we all need money to, pay the bills and get a car and this and that. But I want to enjoy what I do. And
Sure.
I know that it's not their night fight. I mean, they go together, right?
They do go together. And so this is the point I want, because again, you're not unique in this, what you're telling me. Okay. This is not the first time I've heard this. Okay.
Okay.
But here's the problem. Okay.
Uh-huh.
What gives you the most joy? Mm-hmm. What gives you the most happiness in doing this?
Just creating,
Okay. Creating for what? To throw it in the trash?
Not to throw, no.
So where do you want your cookies to go?
If they're thrown, eaten, whatever.
So where do you want your cookies to go?
I just want happy clients,
There you go, right? There you go.
Yeah.
Bingo. You just hit the nail on the head. Now, I'm going to make a connection for you and for our audience here.
Yes.
So what gives you the joy is that when you deliver some of these cookies, right?
Yeah.
And then somebody, just like I did, they were like, wow, that's amazing, man. Geez, I've never seen a cookie like that. Yeah, I've never seen one that detailed and that kind of presentation. Man, these are special cookies. Mm-hmm. That's what you like, correct?
I like that, but I also like the process. Like I really enjoy.
Okay, so the process.
Yeah, I really enjoy myself decorating the cookies. Like, it's like me time, my time. So,
well, and again, and if you want it to be a hobby instead of a business, then yeah, you could definitely decorate cookies, till your heart's content.
no, definitely a hobby is not.
But yeah,
I
but
mean,
because at some point you would lose interest. And I mean, again, it's great to enjoy what you do, and I definitely enjoy what I do. But if the money wasn't there, I wouldn't keep doing it. I mean, that's the reality of it.
yeah, of course.
So having passion for what you do is important. It really is, and enjoying the process, it really is. But at the end of the day, what you got to say to yourself, you got to say, look, really, and again, this is where I want people to focus. Money is a result of serving people.
Exactly.
Okay. The more people I serve and the more people I fulfill their wish or their desire or their need, okay, is the more money I make. It's directly connected.
Correct.
Okay.
Yes.
So the more smiles, the more wows, the more people out there that look at your cookies and look at your work and look at your creativity and go, holy crap, that's amazing. Who made this? Oh, Cynthia. Wow. Does she have a website? Does she have like a Instagram? Okay. Yeah. So that, and again, like you say, teaching the process. Well, imagine if you had 1 million people on YouTube that you were being able to show how do you make these cookies and stuff like that, right? So that would be fulfilling, right? That would give you like the sense of fulfillment. So when I first started making like a lot of money, and I've always made good money, but when I started making a lot of money, it was because I stopped focusing on making the money and I started focusing on just helping as many people as I could. And I just kept saying, you know what, if I help people and I just keep helping more people and I help them with a bigger problem, I'll make more money. And sure enough, it works, right? So the more cookies that you make and the more cookies that you get in front of people that are going to love this cookie, the more people you make happy is the more money you make.
Exactly.
They're directly connected, okay? Because you want these cookies. I mean, clearly you started this business for a reason. It wasn't to make $1,800 a month.
No.
It was because you enjoy doing it.
Yes.
And again, I'm sure when you're at these markets, these farmers markets or these artisan markets, and somebody comes up and they're like, wow, I'm sure that gives you a tremendous sense of pride. You probably really enjoy that part of it too, right? So the idea is really to say, okay, let's get this to as many people that I can, because I want people to enjoy my work, and you want to do more of it, right? And you love to teach. So imagine if you had a couple of people that were your assistants and you were teaching them how to make the cookies, you'd even enjoy it even more, right? So you expand your thought process to say, the more I can bring this to the world, the more people I can bring it to, the bigger I can make it, right? Does two things. You help more people fulfill this need. You get more self-fulfillment out of it. You can hire people. You can help make them and their families better. The money that comes back to you, you can do stuff with. You can help your family. You can start a charity. You can help your community. It feeds on itself, right? Exactly. And then it just becomes this idea of like, well, when I have money, I have resources. When I have resources, I can help people. You can't help anybody if you don't have any resources.
Exactly.
You need resources. That requires money. So money is good, bad, or indifferent depending upon what your mission is with it, right? If your mission is to help people, generally help people, and again, we all start off with helping our family. In my book, Maximize Your Now, I talk about your original why is always going to be to help your family. That's always going to be the why you do anything, right? Why you get out of bed in the morning is to help my family, right?
Enjoy the family. Right?
Yeah, exactly. Right. But then it expands, and as far as like the, chasing that happiness and chasing that self-fulfillment, it really, you have to continue to expand that circle of people that you're helping. And you just got to expand and got to expand and got to expand and got to expand. And then that's really what gives you that feeling of growth and self-fulfillment. And business can be that. Business can be that. It can be selfless. Business doesn't have to be selfish. It can be selfless. Doesn't mean you don't make any money at it, right? Mm-hmm. Because if you don't make money at it, you won't have any resources. If you don't have any resources, you can't help anybody. So again, it's self-creating, self-propelling, and really, when business owners focus on that, and all the business owners I've trained over the years, when they really focus on that, their businesses take off. Their businesses just explode, because that's what the driver is. Yes. That's what the driver is. So you could sell as many of these cookies as you want. You could continue to sell $6,000 worth. You could sell, $1 million worth a month. You could sell 50,000. I mean, it's up to you and what you want. You can sell whatever. The machine, once the marketing machine is built, once you have the custom audience, and once you have the marketing budget, and once you have the traffic, and then once you have the orders, then from there it's like, okay, well, you can continue to scale by getting a commercial kitchen, getting or renting a commercial kitchen, hiring a person as assistant, doing those things. And then you could expand. And again, this $200 just goes up a little bit more. And again, I'm saying $200 to start. You don't know what the $200 is going to do. Does it bring you 10 customers, 20 customers, 50 customers? It just depends. It depends on how good your targeting it is, and also it depends on how well you're following up and capturing your customer base. And another thing you should do too. Do you have a way that you capture your customers' information? Do you capture customer information now?
I have my website keeps track of all the orders and emails, phone number, name, everything.
Because you want to market back to that too, right?
Exactly.
You want to send them the holiday special, right?
Exactly.
So you say, okay, well, every order I get comes through this website. I capture their information. Now that's ever growing, right? So that's a way that's going to grow as well. Correct. So you're feeding the $200. It's feeding leads back to the website. People are ordering. They're going into the customer bucket. Now they're a customer. They bought. Yes. Now you got your customer bucket, and that's always growing. As long as this $200 is growing, and as long as you're getting out in front of new people, it feeds on itself. Mm-hmm. And then you market back to your customer list. That's always going to be your hottest list. Is going to be your customer list, right? Yes. You probably get a lot of repeat business. So then, you're going to market back, hey, customers, you got first dibs at getting the holiday cookies, getting, the Christmas cookie, the Thanksgiving cookie, the Halloween cookie, right? All the Mother's Day cookies, all that stuff. You market to your current customer list first. Mm-hmm. You might fill up your whole orders, what you could fulfill, before you ever spend $1, right? Eventually, once you get your list to that point. How much time do you spend working this business a week and a month? I know it go, with holidays it's busier, but just on average per month, what do you spend working it?
Daily, I do probably six hours, and if it's high season, 24 hours.
Oh wow, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, 20. Let's say 20.
Yeah, gotta get some sleep. Yeah, otherwise the cookies will start looking a little weird.
Yeah, but I like to have my Monday through Friday, and Saturday and Sunday is for the family.
Okay. So basically you're working like a full-time job. It's basically 40 hours a week type of a thing.
Yeah,
right?
kind of.
Okay.
And high season, it gets pretty...
It sure gets hectic.
It gets hectic. But, I have family. My husband, when he has time, he helps me out. So we're a family business.
There you go. That's the way. That's always going to be your first employee, right?
Yeah.
Your spouse, and then your son will have to be your second employee.
And sometimes he helps.
There you go. How old is he?
He's 12.
Oh yeah, he should be doing that all by himself. He should just be sitting there just cracking the whip. Shouldn't he have to do any of it anymore?
He does.
To your husband and your son, this should all be taken care of.
That's it, right?
You should be on Instagram and Facebook all day long.
Oh, I wish I could do that. I really like being on media. And like you say, answering to everyone, making sure that everyone is getting their question answered. It is very important to me.
The more people that you can do that with, I think, is going to be more fulfilling for you. Yeah. And you don't have to worry about doing more than the 40 hours a week just because you expand your business. I actually work less than I used to, and I make way more money just because
you learn how to delegate.
Learn how to actually trust other people to actually do some work, right? Now, I still do like all the super high level CEO functions, of course, of my businesses, but you have to delegate and you have to, again, get an assistant. And again, especially when you can automate is really, really good. When you can automate a process.
Exactly.
Which was, I was trying to make the point with Facebook. When you can automate a process in your business, I mean, that's really like the holy grail. Because you don't have an employee to deal with, you don't have to, they're not calling in sick, they don't have like a family emergency, all that stuff that goes with that. Yeah. So whenever you can automate a process, you definitely want to.
Yes.
And the marketing is the easy place to start with the automation.
Yes.
And then from there, once your orders are where you're like, hey, to keep fulfilling these orders, I'm going to have to work more. That's when you hire somebody. And, you probably want to play around with maybe upping some prices, maybe even a larger cookie or something where you get the prices up a little more, just so, again, because I know right now the numbers you're working, there's no way you could hire somebody. The budget isn't there.
Exactly.
So automation is where I'd look to first to get the numbers up. If you're 40 hours a week on average to do this, you probably would have to up your prices, or you have to get more efficient. You're going to have to get some efficiencies, right? So you would look at that 40 hours and say, okay, where is this 40 hours going exactly? And where can I create some more efficiencies there? Where can I either create automation to take over some of that workload, or is there some of it that I'm doing that really isn't all that important? I catch business owners time and time again doing tasks that just really aren't that important. They don't make any money. They don't really have any effect. It's just like, why, right?
Tasks like for example, which tasks would you say that we're wasting time? I really want to know that.
Well, in general, and again, I'd have to actually, see exactly how you spend that 40 hours to know how you're wasting time. But the typical business owner that I catch wasting time is going to be wasting it with doing their own social media, over posting, trying to, overthink. A lot of overthinking happens. A lot of planning that's really already done or isn't necessary, right? Thinking, doing your own accounting, doing your own book work, right? You could definitely either automate that, or you could look for ways to make that simplified, versus spending too much time on it. And whether you look for, the Internet of Things, you could look for a better computer program that makes it easier, right? An app that makes it easier for you to track your spending, and maybe apps that you would use to know when to order certain orders. And so maybe you just, instead of every day you spend 20, I'm just giving you examples, every day you spend 20 minutes going through your ingredients list. Do I have everything I need? Oh man, I forgot this, right? Instead, simplify that. You would say, okay, these are the things that I need most often. This goes on the monthly purchase, or exactly, create lists like that would help you get more efficient. So I can typically go into and consult with a business owner. I can shave 10 hours a week off of their time. Wow. And 10 hours is just being wasted. When I say wasted, I don't mean that they don't feel like they're working. It's just, it's inefficient work.
Exactly. Not being proactive.
Not being productive. Exactly. Not doing what makes the money, right? Because what makes the money is making the cookie and shipping the cookie out. That's what makes the money. So anything that's not making the money, you have to really look at and say, look, could this either be eliminated? Could this be made more efficient? Could this be automated? Could I hire, an online assistant, that could do this 3 hours a week for me for, $40, and now I can make another 50 cookies that will make me, $300, right? I catch a lot of business owners trading their time. They got this thing where they can make $50 an hour, $100 an hour doing their thing, right? Making the cookie and shipping the cookie out, but they're over here doing something they should be paying somebody $10 an hour, $12 an hour to do. And they're over here doing that instead of doing this. Whatever your money-making mechanism is what you need to be doing with the vast majority of your time. If you're spending other time working on things that isn't making the money, that becomes the problem. And typically with most businesses, you're looking at people probably spend 80% of their time on stuff that doesn't make the money, and only 20% of the time on the stuff that makes the money. Reallocate that. So examine exactly where your time goes, and whether it's either important, it could be eliminated, it could be condensed. Maybe it's something that I spend every day with, but maybe I should just spend one day a week with it instead of every day for 20 minutes. Let me just spend 1 hour on Monday mornings, or things like that. And you could free up another 10 hours to where you could take on more orders, so get the same 40, but you're shipping more cookies, therefore making more money. Yeah. The time didn't go up. What went up was how much money you make per hour went up. Yeah. Right. And so so for a solopreneur in your situation, that's what I would look to do. If you get your sales up consistently, let's just say you double them to $12,000 a month, then at that point you could take that extra $1,800 that's a profit, or extra, we'll just call it $2,000 as the profit. And now you can take that $2,000 and you can reinvest it in the business. Maybe again, hire the assistant to ship more cookies, right? and then have the assistant do some of the other work that isn't directly related to either the creativity and or, anything that goes into like the actual like quality of the cookie.
Yeah.
Maybe you have the assistant do the boxing. Maybe you have the assistant do the shipping, right?
Exactly.
So instead of you running down to the post office and shipping, they do.
Exactly.
You're sitting there making another batch of cookies because that's where the money's made.
Correct.
So as a solopreneur, that's the first thing you want to do is you want to say, I got to offload every other function besides what literally makes the money. Every other function needs to be offloaded. Mm-hmm. Once it's offloaded, either through automation or through elimination or through hiring other people to do it, you can spend then more time on the thing that makes the money, and you'll see how fast the sales go up, the number of sales, the profitability, the whole thing. And then once you get your profits to a certain point where you now have the excess money, now you can reinvest that back in to scaling out, okay, and scaling out your production. And again, like I said, this is whatever you want it to be ultimately, right? And I want you to be greedy though, and I want you, greed isn't always bad. I want you to be greedy with this. You want your cookies in front of as many people as possible. You want as many people's holidays to be better, of their birthdays, all the special occasions for people that order these type of cookies, the anniversaries. Again, this is like you're making people happy. Correct. That's what you focus on, right? Am I making people happy? Am I helping people? And that becomes like the why. That becomes your bigger why. And then that feeds back to you get to take better care of your family, you get to take better care of your community, you get to hire people, you get to do all this stuff, right?
Correct.
And so, I love your product. It's awesome. Again, your potential here is unlimited. Hopefully I've given you some advice here that you could do some things with. Good. And really just, start to, again, decide, and ultimately, you want to put numbers to this stuff because you want to say, look, I got to have goals. Whatever they are. And whatever they are is fine. Ultimately, whatever you decide, whatever you and your husband decide, whatever you decide you want to do, but again, like I said, you don't ever have to spend more than 40 hours a week. That can always be the limit, right? Yeah. You never have to be a slave to your business. You never have to spend more than 40 hours a week. You just have to learn strategies and things they're going to help you increase production, increase profitability, scale, and it can be done with 40 hours a week. You just got to learn the strategies that goes into it, and then see what you guys decide. And then whatever you decide, I'd love to have you back once you make some bigger plans and have a better idea of what you really want to do with this and the goals. Well, then we can sit down, and after you've implemented some of this stuff, we could sit down and we could design that exact blueprint for you. Yeah. That would then say, okay, you want to sell $100,000 worth of cookies a month. Okay, this is exactly the blueprint. This is the advertising. This is the ads. This is the automation. This is the scale. This is exactly the plan, right? And so we would then develop a complete blueprint for exactly how to achieve that. Exactly. If you can sell, and again, I have a lot of, when I go into business owners with this and I say, look, I can, you tell me how much you want to make, I'll design it and it will work every time. It does not, the only time anything fails is if the person fails. Right? If the person does what they're supposed to do, you can't fail, right? Because it's just reverse engineering what you already have. If you are doing something that makes $1, then it can make 10, it can make 100, it can make 1,000, it can make 1,000,000, it can make 10 million, it can make 1 billion. Jeff Bezos started in his garage selling books. And now he's one of the richest people on the planet. Not the richest, he goes up and down every day, right? But he's either one of the richest people on the planet or the richest that we know about. It all started with just books in a garage. Yes. And he scaled, right? So, because he realized, look, I'm selling $6,000 worth of books. That means I can sell $60,000 worth of books. I can sell $600,000. I could sell $1 million. Oh, I could sell some readers. I could sell some other stuff too. Oh, I got some, what else goes with the books? And then that's how you scale out. So the blueprint that we would customize for you would tell you exactly what steps to make, what moves to make to exactly get to whatever number you want, whatever that is. You want it to be 1 billion. You're like, hey, I'm going to bury Bezos. We could design that. We could design that blueprint to get you there. Or again, 20,000, 50,000, whatever you want to do with it, whatever you want to make, just define that, because without defining what your goal is, what's the blueprint,
Yeah.
right? That'd be like saying an architect can design a house when you don't know what size you want, you don't know how many bedrooms you want, how many bathrooms, you don't know where you want the kitchen or the bedrooms. Like an architect's going to design that? No, an architect can't design that.
Exactly.
Architect needs to know how many bedrooms, how many bathrooms, about how much square foot, how many, how high you want your ceilings, all kinds of things. And now you can then draw the blueprint. And then, they just give it to a builder that knows how to read a blueprint, and they go build it. And guess what? It's exactly like it was supposed to be.
Exactly.
No guesswork, right? Nobody stands there going, man, that was not the way it was designed at all. Like, it doesn't happen. So you can do that with the business too. A business, you can do the exact same blueprint, design, exactly like an architect designs a hospital. And then a builder goes and builds the hospital, and sure enough, damn it, it's every screw, every bolt, every nail is exactly where it's supposed to be. Everything works. Everything looks good. Same thing you can be doing with the business. So any other questions before we wrap up? You got anything else on your mind? Anything else you want to talk about?
No, I mean, I'm processing and writing
It's a lot
down.
to think about. I know I hate it with a lot. I hate it a lot. The good news is, right, and Emilio gets to remind people of this, this is forever yours. You get to go back and listen to this podcast, watch this video as many times as you want. So you can digest all this.
Yes.
Okay. You keep watching it.
I will.
Because every time you watch, you're going to get something else out of it, right?
Exactly.
Now, to find her, we're going to put all of her links out there, but give us your Instagram, give us your Facebook page one more time.
Okay. Well, the Facebook and Instagram, they're a bit long. It's The Cookie Jar by Cynthia Arias, but there is a lot of underscores between that.
Right.
It's easier if you
So you're telling me the Cookie Jar by Cynthia was already taken?
The Cookie Jar was taken.
I know the Cookie Jar was taken, but
Yeah.
by Cynthia was taken too?
No, it wasn't. But, I'm registered in Mexico. The Cookie
Right.
Jar is registered, is already registered. But
Okay.
here in the States, I never thought I was going to be here.
Okay.
So here was already taken.
Okay.
So
All right.
that's why I had to do all that underscoring, and I didn't want to change the name. And,
Okay.
But it's easier if you go to cherrytheartofcookies.com.
Okay.
And it will link you to Facebook, to Instagram,
Yep.
YouTube,
Get all your links there.
Pinterest, everything.
So, hey, everyone, go to her website, order a bunch of cookies. You're not going to be disappointed. I guarantee you that. You're going to love it. If you've enjoyed the video, if you've gotten value out of it, please like, subscribe, share it everywhere you can. Obviously, the more business owners we can help with these teachings, the better. My mission now is to get out to all the business owners these strategies that I've learned over a quarter of a century that are, that work time and time again, because I have a passion for small. Again, that's my why. I want to help small business owners. That's what I want to do. That's all I want to do all day long. So it was great having you on the show.
Thank you so much, Cory.
Hopefully you'll be one of our return guests, and then we can see exactly where you want to go, and we'll get you there.
Definitely.
All righty. Thanks a
you.
bunch. Thanks for joining us. See you guys next time.